found out in August that I had sound check. I didn't want to believe it, and I tried to like not get overly excited because it would have like ruined my life if I had gotten there. And then they said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, you were mistaken." Even though I did email Powerhouse Live and I was like, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure that I got them?" And they were like, "Yes, we can confirm that you are a sound check ticket holder." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." But I kept like looking for an email and looking for more information on it, and they just didn't really send it. So I was like, let's just not put all of our eggs in one basket. Let's not hope for too much. But anyways, me and one of the other girls, we also had to check in to the sound check. And so the way that they had it set up was that you get your wristband at 10 for general standing, and then you also get your wristband for sound check at 10, which kind of makes sense. It made it so that there wasn't really a line at sound check at all because people were just going straight from general to sound check and getting their wristband. But it was a little bit like, we went over to the sound check line, and that was like the moment of like, are they going to let me in? Did I actually get the ticket? And I had to show them my ticket and my ID, and they were like, yeah, okay. And then I got my sound check band, and I was number 186 for that. I thought that there was going to be about 500 people who got sound check, and maybe that's true. I think it was more around like somewhere between 300, maybe 400 people. It was less than I thought there was going to be, which was kind of, I mean, it was nice. It's nice to just have a more intimate like experience. So then I started to get really happy and excited because I was going to be able to see them practice, and that's when I started to feel like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I can even like feel the butterflies now just thinking about it. Like it was pure bliss. So we were supposed to check in, like to go back to sound check. So it was about 11, got our wristbands for sound check, and then they wanted us to get back in line at 1 o'clock. So at that point, it was like 11:30. I knew I didn't have that long to eat and that all of the restaurants around the venue were going to be packed. I went to try to find a restaurant that was like the least packed, and I ended up going to this one restaurant like 3 times, and not in that day. Like I went the night before for dinner, and then I went there for lunch that day of the concert, and then after the concert I went back, and I was just like, I need so much water, please give me all of the water that you have. Anyway, so I frequented that one restaurant, and you're welcome. So what happened next? So I finished lunch like as quickly as possible because at that point it was like getting close to 1 and I needed to go get in the sound check line. So I went over to sound check with my friend, and that was kind of the hottest part of the day. And at first it was kind of like really chaotic, and then you didn't really seem to have a system. And actually we kind of did end up organizing ourselves. Like a couple of the armies just like took charge and were like, okay, like everyone with this number come over here. And so we mostly organized ourselves. At that time, yeah, they said that we were going to be able to go in at 2. We went in at 2:30, and I was kind of like, you know, it may not be like the venue, like it might just be BTS like needs a minute. So I was like, it's fine, I will wait for them.
프로다운 자세 보여줘. 야. 많이 실망스럽다. 너 어떻게 내가 가져가려는 거?
형 감기죠?
I understand, like they work so hard for us, so try to just be patient with everything.
아, 맞아. 아.
Yeah, it was worth it. So oh my gosh, that was probably the time that I had like the most nerves. And my friend that I was with, she definitely kind of started hyperventilating and just like losing all of her cool. She was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I was like, yeah, I know, like this is happening. But it was a dream. Can I just tell you this? It was a dream. So the way that the stage was set up, there's like main stage, the walkway, and then there's the center stage down at the end. There was about 3 rows of girls already when we got there, since we were 186 and 187. So it was like there was that many people in front of us, but it was still like they were right there. They were right there. It was awesome. During the sound check, there were 2 girls who had these signs that they kept putting up. And I think they were for Jimin, because every time that Jimin came over, I wanted to see him and I couldn't because they kept putting their signs up in front of him. And I was like, "Gah, like I want to see Jimin and I want Jimin to see me." But for the most part, it was okay. It is a little bit, like the stage is pretty high. You can see them kind of well, but maybe not as well as I thought that you would be able to. Like we were just like standing there and we would like start getting excited, and the room was like filled with this like kind of foggy mistiness, and but it was like all the lights were on, and it was just like it was the frenzy of excitement. Like we all started to get like super excited, and then the lights went off and they were like, "Welcome to the BTS Soundcheck experience." And of course we all start like screaming our heads off because this was the moment. Like it was crazy because, you know, you sit and you watch all these music videos in your room and you listen to the album. I mean, not that I didn't think that they were real people, obviously, like they are, and I know that, but it's just like so surreal to be like, oh my gosh, you've always been in the screen of my phone, and now like here you are in front of me. And you know, it's like you feel like you have a relationship with them, and I think they feel like they have a relationship with us. So it just like there's so much energy there, and it's really special. And that's when you start to get emotional. Yeah. Whew. Anyways, so they came out and we were like kind of freaking out, and you like are trying to pay attention, but you're also just like, oh my gosh. So J-Hope comes out in his cool orange sweatshirt, and it's like he's got his hoodie on and he's just like, yo, what up? And then Taehyung was just like, good morning, and then he started laughing at himself because he was like, well, I guess it's not morning. But yeah, they all came out, and I loved it. Like, I'm so glad. I can't tell you how glad that I am that I got Soundcheck, because they definitely like have a little bit of a different air than during the regular performance, because like during the actual concert, like they have all the costumes, they're all dressed up, and they're like not in character, but you know, it's just like they have the schedule that they're keeping to. But for Soundcheck, it's just like a lot more relaxed and a lot more of like them really trying to connect with us. I felt like I was surprised still by how loud. I guess like 300 girls can still be really loud, but it was still kind of like difficult to hear them sometimes because all of us were screaming, but we could still like shout things out, and like they could actually hear us, like if we shouted something, whereas like during the actual performance, like you can't hear anything. Like you can only hear them singing and then like talking to the person next to you, but other than that, like if you shout something up at them, like they wouldn't hear you. Okay, my favorite moment was when Taehyung was standing in front of us and like smiling and being adorable, and it kind of got a little bit quiet, and I just like screamed. I was just like, Taehyung! And then everybody else started screaming, and then he started smiling, and I was like, this is amazing. Yeah, that was probably my favorite moment during Soundcheck, just because, like, I felt like he knew that I loved him. They know that we all love them, but still, it was really cool. So, J-Hope and Taeyong were definitely, like, I would say the most hyped. Like, they're the hype men. I feel like they get everyone excited. I mean, they were still, like, I kind of felt like all of them were just, like, playing it cool. And I was like, I don't want you to be too cool. Like, I'm fine. Just, like, be nerds. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's, like, they are nervous, to see us, or I don't want to judge them because, like, they're really tired. We were really tired. But I just, like, no matter what, like, I just hope that they know how much I love them. Yeah, it was really interesting to watch them practice. Like, Suga was pretty aloof. Like, he's definitely, like, I feel like the least interactive. But I know Suga, like, I understand his personality, so I was just like, it's fine, he's my baby. Like, I know how much he loves ARMY. So he kind of would stay back a little bit, and he didn't interact with us as much. But when he did, though, like, he would kind of get close, and then, he would kind of, like, just do his little tongue thing, where he, like, sticks out his tongue and then kind of turns around and, like, he knows he's the bad boy. Sugar. And then Jungkook had his GoPro out. Thank goodness. Like, it's like, thank you, Jungkook, for making my personal documentary of the day. I appreciate it. I would say Jimin was the most, like, focused. Jimin and RM, I think they're very, like, composed and really serious. So, and I don't know, like, I guess I feel like maybe they're shy during Soundcheck. I would like to hear what other people think about Soundcheck, if that's just, like, me, or if you felt like, yeah, like, are they shy? Do you think that, like, them being with a few people, like, is more nerve-wracking maybe for them instead of, like, the huge concert? I feel like maybe it would be, because, like, there's not a lot in between you and those people, whereas, like, in a huge concert, it's like there's 18,000 people. Oh well, one day I'll know. I know that they still love us. Oh, and then Jin, he was just a sweetie. Yeah, he'd come over and just, like, be sweet. So they did 3 songs, like they showed in the video. They did Run first, which was great because then we just, like, all got really excited, and we're all jumping and being like, run, run, run. And that's about when my feet started to, like, give out because we were just, like, jumping so hard, and I was just like, ignore the pain. So we were jumping to that, and then they did Fake Love. And what was the other one they did? Did they do Ampa Man? I can't remember the other one right now. It was definitely, like, it was enough, but obviously I would have liked more. Always. It was, like, awesome. It was really fun. It was just, like, a mini pre-party with the boys, so it was great. I cannot emphasize enough how awesome Soundcheck was, because, like, that really is when you get, like, I feel like one-on-one time with them, Obviously it's not, like, they're practicing and they're performing, but at the same time, like, they're able to, I feel like, be a lot just more, like, interactive. So it was awesome. So then after that, we were in a state of euphoria. And actually, another thing that I really liked about the Soundcheck was that I could kind of, like, get over my starstruckness before the actual concert. Which maybe there's pros and cons to that, like, that feeling of, like, oh my gosh, I'm about to see them is so exciting. And sometimes it's kind of fun to maintain that, I feel like, for the concert. But don't worry, it came back. So, after Soundcheck, we were just like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. So great. Got out of the venue, got back to our group in the general line. I mean, I think my friend did a better review than I did.
For the moment. Jimmy was like a work of art. Like he was dressed in like slacks and then like a dressy shirt. And then I can't believe his face. His face was like, oh my.
All I can say is, yeah, exactly. Like, Jimin really is like, Jimin's beautiful. They're all gorgeous and great. I mean, I don't know, just like me and glasses, I guess, is my thing. But yeah, like whenever RM wears like huge glasses, I love it. And J-Hope had like his huge Coke bottle glasses on, and I was just like, yes. So we got back into line, and we were just kind of like telling them about our experience at Soundcheck. I think that the practice honestly was like, yeah, 20 or 30 minutes, and then it was over.